Carpentry kids have the same.
There's so
Same
many
what?
sections for 1.5.
No, I know. Okay, so we're going to be talking about 1.5 today. We have a quiz over 1.4 and 1.5 tomorrow, just 2 sections. Then 1.6 will be on Thursday, and that's the end of the chapter. So Friday we'll be working on the chapter review for the test, and then the test will be Tuesday next week. Because I'll take Monday to go through the chapter review. Okay. I noticed on the quiz grades, for the most part, everybody did pretty well, the quiz last week. So that's good. Remember, through 1.4, if I can tell from your score that you made an attempt on the classroom problems and you did the majority of them or got the majority of them right, I just gave everybody hundreds. Okay. From 1.5 and 1.6, I changed the homework set to allow unlimited attempts. So if you get the number wrong, you can go back and put a new number in unlimited times. So from that point forward, I will put whatever grade you get in the grade book. It won't be 100. Hopefully it is 100 because you just kept doing it until you got it right. But if you don't do it all, you're going to get whatever grade you get from this point forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't forget to do your CK12. Those are worth 10% of your grade. So you want to make sure you're keeping up on those. 1.4 homework will be due tonight at midnight. So that's your CK12 and your classroom problems on big ideas. And then 1.5 will be due tomorrow night. Okay. And so if there's still questions on 1.5 tomorrow in class, we can sure work on those after the quiz. Okay, so let's talk about section 1.5, which is angle pairs. That was kind of the point of this section. Talking about supplementary, complementary, linear pairs, vertical pairs, pairs of angles. Adjacent. What does the word adjacent mean in terms of angles? Next to. It's kind of the same thing it means normally. So adjacent angles means 2 angles that are right next to each other. They share a side. Okay, so when we look at the first question, angles that add up to 180 degrees are called what kind of angles? Supplementary. What are complementary angles? 90 degrees. Okay, perpendicular angles? A perpendicular angle is equal to four adjacent perpendicular angles would equal 360, but one angle is a 90 degree perpendicular. Vertical angles, what are those? They're equal, but how do you create them? You basically just have 2 intersecting lines. Okay?
Right. I think I was just overcomplicating it.
Those 2 are vertical angles.
Oh,
Okay, and they are equal to each other.
Just overthinking it.
So true or false? All supplementary angles are also called linear pairs.
Well, they're false.
It's false.
Because they don't have to be adjacent.
Adjacent. Good. So I kind of drew an example. In this case, these are supplementary and they are linear pairs because A and B are adjacent to each other. They share a common side. Here I drew 2 angles that I'm going to tell you maybe this is 140, this is 40. So they are supplementary, but they aren't adjacent to each other, so they don't form a linear pair. Okay, a linear pair are 2 angles together form a line. Okay. Maybe I could get my board. Technical difficulties. The video about linear pairs starred a man called what? Marshall E. Mallow. Yes. You know, the hardest part about teaching this is making up my own names.
Such a weird video.
I know, it was, but it went through the points.
Yeah.
So I tried every now and then to find something that's a little entertaining.
Yeah, it was a nice. It was a little scary though.
In the figure below, angles 1 and 3 are called what? Vertical pairs. Yep. And then finally, question 5, the measure of angle 2 is equal to how many degrees? 162, because angle 2 and this angle here form a linear pair, which means they're supplementary. Together they must equal 180 degrees. Okay. On the classroom problems, you may have noticed the markings like this. If you see markings like this, what does that tell you about A, B, and BC? If you see this mark, it means those two segments are equal to each other. You're going to see the same thing with angles.
Right, because if there's more than that.
If I have two angles like this with a mark in it, that tells me that those two angles are equal to each other. Okay, sometimes you'll have two marks. You just match up whichever angle has the same mark as another. That means they're congruent or equal to each other in measure. Same with segments. Okay. Any questions on 1-4? Everybody doing all right with that one? Finished, hopefully? Okay, hearing none, go ahead and get to work on whatever you've got to get done. If you haven't finished 1-4, get that finished so it's due tonight. And if you have, go ahead and start on 1-5. That's due tomorrow night. And if you can get it done tonight, that would help you on the quiz tomorrow. If you wait till tomorrow night, then you're not going to have any practice for what the quiz covers. Okay.